How did you get your dream kitchen design? Did you hire an interior designer? What reference did you use? How did you put everything together? Back to my channel. It's Catherine again. In my channel, I previously showed you guys a lot of times about my kitchen, from the material to the layout to appliance, and last week I even reviewed the cost of our kitchen for your reference. However, I know some of you might still be thinking, how did you get your dream kitchen design? Did you hire an interior designer? What reference did you use? How did you put everything together? If we don't plan to pay a fortune to hire a home designer, can we really get our dream kitchen designed? Well, the short answer to that is absolutely yes. And in today's video, I'll be going through all the tips that I find very helpful when I was going through the process, and I hope my video can give you some inspiration. So keep on watching and you won't be disappointed. When it comes to talk about design of your kitchen or any room in your house, the first thing we would like to do is to get some inspiration. And then the next question people would be asking is how and where. So according to my experience, I find 3 resources are very helpful. First of all is, of course, those kitchen showrooms. I mean, they're there for a reason, right? Sometimes it might be a bit difficult for us to imagine how a kitchen design would look like in a home setting. Those kitchen showrooms can really solve this problem. If you visit any of the kitchen showrooms of the high street brand, you can see a lot of the kitchen layout in their showroom. For example, an L-shaped kitchen, a kitchen without and with an island, or a kitchen that is a U-shape, or a kitchen with a breakfast bar. And you can really take those ideas into your mind and imagine how this kitchen would look like in the space that you planned for installing your kitchen at home. And on top of that, the benefit of visiting a showroom is also to talk to people who work in that industry. If I recall correctly, at the start of my renovation project, I really spent a lot of time to get myself up to the speed with all the knowledge in renovation, because I don't want to be screwed and I can't afford to be screwed up too much. And I think the quickest way to achieve that is to talk with people, especially designers or kitchen suppliers who has been in this industry for a long time. Through conversation, you can gain loads of information and have a good download of what they can offer and what your preference might be. For example, after my first showroom visit, I know the difference between what is a laminate worktop and what is quartz and what is marble, and roughly what is the price point I'm looking for these options if I'm go with any, and also what are the possible options for appliance. Do I want to go with a double oven or do I want to go with a single oven? What are the pros and cons of both options? It really gives you an opportunity to sit down with someone and take the time to walk through what you want to do with your kitchen and listen to them to introduce about their brands and what they can offer to you as well. And lastly, you can get a good sense of colors. For example, if you want to go with a dark kitchen, you can see what a dark kitchen looks like in real life. It can probably save you from making mistakes. So that's all I want to talk about on showroom. Next thing I want to talk about is, of course, internet searches. This includes Google searches, Instagram searches, or any other applications that you can find focusing on renovation. I don't want to spend too much time on talking about Google searches and Instagram because they sound so obvious and everyone knows how to do a Google search and take a screenshot of what you like. But what I want to add on is, don't just take a screenshot, because the pictures will be lost in your thousands of pictures on your phone. So when I was going through the renovation search, as soon as I see something that I really like, apart from taking a screenshot of that particular picture or web page, what I also did was creating an album on my phone so I can save all the pictures that related to renovation into that particular folder. Whenever I want to review my searches or go through my inspirations, I can just go to that particular folder on my phone and it won't be lost in my photos because it is very well organized in one particular album. Well, if you have more pictures to organize, you can also creating multiple albums such as renovation-living room, renovation-kitchen, or renovation-kitchen cupboard color. Anything can do as long as it works for you and it makes your search much easy. Well, same principle applies also for Instagram, and Instagram application makes it even easier for us because within that application you can already create an album to save down all the pictures that you like. Today I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on Instagram because it is an application that everybody or most of us use every day for multiple times. Today what I want to talk about is another application called Houzz, which is very helpful. I spend my majority of the search time on this application and it really helped me to gather all the inspirations that I really like. So this Houzz application is the one that I'm talking about. If you haven't downloaded, I would strongly recommend to just go onto your app store and download it on your phone, and this will really help you with your idea search. Well, if you don't enjoy searching on your smartphone, you can also go onto your laptop, and there is a website version of Houzz where you can do your researches there. So on this website or on this app, there are pictures uploaded by famous interior designers or house owners who are very proud of what they have achieved with their home, or building companies who has done the renovation for their client. So you can imagine there are really loads of available resources there. After you have downloaded the app or after you have opened the web page on your laptop, then you go to photos, and then there are all these kind of filters that you can select from. For example, if now we're looking for the inspiration for kitchen, and then we can select the room to be kitchen, and then it will load all kinds of kitchen pictures that are uploaded by people. And within those pictures, and while you browse, probably you will have some inspirations for the island style or the worktop style or the kitchen cupboard color that you would prefer. So the beauty of the Houzz app or the web page is not only it can allow you to save down in an album that you created within an app, but also you can add some notes to a particular photo. Say for example this kitchen, what I really like is the cupboard color. It is this kind of emerald green color. So what I would do is really very simple. Just click on the save button, and then it will pop up save to what album or what folder you have created, or if you haven't created one, just create a new one. So I have already created one called kitchen, and then I'll just save down onto this folder, and then you will see there is a line that asking you about what do you like about this item. So what I would write down is really simple. I will just put cupboard color, and then later when I go through this particular photo, it will remind me it is the kitchen cupboard color that I want to refer to when I do my own kitchen. I think this feature is really handy because sometimes inspirations are everywhere. However, after we save down all the inspirations and the pictures that we have researched for, we can really forget what's the reason that make us to save down this particular picture. So this particular feature of Houzz app can really help us to remember the particular moment when our brain sparks. That's how we collect all the good inspirations, and we can implement those inspirations in our future home. And the last area of resource that I find really helpful for my renovation is council planning website, because each council probably will have different regulations about what you can or cannot do, and certain designs will work for one type of house but probably not yours. So what you really want to know is what's possible for the house that on your street. By going through the council planning website, you can type in your street name, and then all the approved or rejected planning permissions will come up on the council webpage, and then you can open each application to see how people are designing their kitchen. I don't mean that other people's ideas are better than yours, but it doesn't do any harm to have more inspirations and more ideas from your neighbors, what they can do about their home, and probably that is something that you want to implement in your kitchen as well. Okay, that's all I wanted to say about inspiration. Next thing, after getting all this inspiration, how do I test out the ideas, whether it is feasible or possible for my kitchen? So here you probably need some tools. I use three main tools. First one is some design tools. If you have, I mean, a lot of design tools you probably need to pay to install or download onto your smartphone, tablets, or your laptop. There is one app that I find quite helpful. It has a paid version, which I finally bought. However, before I bought the paid version, I used its free version, which I think it does a lot of job already. The application's name is called Live Home 3D. Mine is the pro version because I need to have access to more functions. For example, because we live in a multi-level terraced house, so I need the function to be able to draw multi-level plans. This Live Home 3D application is really user-friendly. It has a very friendly interface. You can really get your hands on it without any help. Probably at the beginning you will need to spend half an hour to get yourself familiarized with all the functions it provides. However, after you get a hand of it, it is really quick and you can design or put together what in your mind about your dream home or dream room, for example kitchen, very quickly. And after you have drawn out your kitchen design, you can generate a 3D tour. So this is a 3D tour of my designed home, and you can see it is probably 90% representative of what I achieved in the end. I wanted to say that this app really helped me, especially when I communicate my ideas with my husband, builders, or my suppliers. You can't expect people to be on the same page with you every time you speak with them without any visual aid. And this app can really help me to bring my imagination into some visual things that I can show to people to discuss. It accelerates the discussion process as well, and it also helped me to avoid as much communication breakdown as possible. So that's about the Live Home 3D application. I heard most of you would say, I don't really want to learn how to use a software before I can have an idea about what I can achieve with my kitchen. I heard you, so there's the second approach that I would recommend. There's this kitchen company called Handmade Kitchen. It is a really good kitchen company. I would recommend you guys probably to explore what they have and visit one of their showrooms. Unfortunately, I didn't do my kitchen with them. Probably I should have. The reason why I didn't order the kitchen through them was because they have a really long lead time, and at the time we just couldn't afford to wait because of the planning of the renovation, and we need to work with our builder about the timeline, so we really don't want to drag. However, if I were given a second chance, probably I will consider them at priority. But that's not the main message I want to say today. The main thing I want to share with you is on their website there is this download section. You can download their planning kit document. After you have downloaded it, you can print out the document and then you can play with it. It is really quite fun. They have prepared you with all sort of kitchen cabinet and kitchen appliance possibilities, and you can just combine whatever the way that you would like your kitchen to be with different sizes, as you can see on the screen. I find it is quite helpful, especially at the beginning of my kitchen design process, because unlike drawings, if you have done something that you don't like, you need to erase it. You can really change your idea by just replacing a piece, which makes the design journey way easier than if you were to use some design applications. But now probably you will say, but then I need to carry all these different pieces here and there when I need to design my kitchen or have some inspiration. I want to change things. I want something more accessible. I want something more digital. Okay, I hear you. I am like that as well. So the last thing I want to recommend you to use is an application or software that everybody would know, which is PowerPoint. It is called PowerPoint for a reason, because it is so powerful. We created our 50-page document to plan the renovation using PowerPoint, and with the help of PowerPoint, it also helped me to plan the kitchen. For example, this document, well, I didn't use this document to plan the kitchen. This one was created when I was showing my builder how to lay out the tiles for our floor and wall. But here you can get an idea of how PowerPoint can help you with planning. Within PowerPoint, you can have access to all different kind of shapes, and by adding those shapes and combine different shapes, you can create certain things. For example, extractor or your kitchen tab. You can really use your imagination and what's available on PowerPoint to create something crazy. One of the biggest advantages of PowerPoint is it is completely free, and I believe everyone would have a version of PowerPoint installed on your laptop. And probably majority of us know how to use a PowerPoint, so you don't need to spend extra amount of time to learn how to use that platform, and the interface is very familiar to you as well. So if you're still in a very early stage of your renovation project or your kitchen remodeling project, open a PowerPoint and draw out your idea and your dream kitchen and the layout, and you can probably get a rough idea about whether it works or not. Next, The third big area that I want to talk about is to avoid common mistakes that made by people already. In today's video, I don't really want to repeat what other people have kindly organized and summarized for all of us about the common kitchen mistakes that people made throughout the years. If you do a simple Google search by typing in kitchen mistakes, and you probably would have zillions of ideas about how people can avoid making such mistakes and what are the mistakes that people would tend to make when they design their kitchen. So I don't want to repeat all of that. Either YouTube or Google, they can give you way more resource there already. So today I just want to talk about my own experience. So first of all, I stood in our previous kitchen and think through what I like and what I didn't like about this kitchen. And this really helped me summarize our living habit and how we would like our dream kitchen to be. For example, you guys know that in our previous kitchen we don't have any drawers. So in our new kitchen, I just have to install as many drawers as possible to make our life easier. Another thing I haven't really shared on my channel, but today I would like to share, was in our previous kitchen we have really dark marble worktop. I mean, the quality of the material is really good and it never breaks, and it is quite pretty, I would say. However, it gives me a lot of headache because I really can't see whether our worktop is clean or not, because the worktop is dark. Every time I do the cleaning of the worktop, I need to bend down so that my eye can be at the same level of the worktop and I can see whether there are some dust or the leftover food there, so I can just dust them off and clean the worktop. It really gave me a lot of hard times. So in our new kitchen, I knew that I wouldn't want a dark worktop. I want to go with a light version one. So that's why we have the current one installed, as you see in most of my kitchen videos. And the second mistake that I want to avoid with my new kitchen is narrow aisles, especially for main traffic zones. In my last week's video, you guys have seen that I have mentioned that the aisle in between of the island and the cooking area is only 90 centimeters. I mean, I say this is a regret, but it is not really a mistake because I knew what I'm getting into, because the house is quite narrow, so I really can't afford to have a 120 centimeter aisle, which I would like to, however we just can't. So that's why we went with 90 centimeter. But what I want to say is, when you're designing your kitchen, especially when you have some large appliance or appliance that requires the door to be opened while using, you have to be really mindful about the space that you leave for the clearing. For example, a lot of people install washing machine and dryers in their kitchen because not every home can afford to have a room for utility. Imagine on a Sunday morning, one family member is doing the laundry and having the washing machine open, and another family member is cooking the brunch. And if you don't have a very large aisle, or if you don't have a very large clearance space, and people probably would be bumping into each other and it will not be that nice. So when you're designing your kitchen, you really want to put yourself into different situations and imagine the workflows in those different situations, and to see if you can provide some solutions with what you have to solve the traffic problems in your kitchen. The next mistake that you probably want to avoid is to offload all the design work to your kitchen suppliers. Unless you pay loads to hire those very high-end kitchen designer or interior designer, the majority of the kitchen suppliers that normal people are talking about probably have loads of different customers that they need to deal with on a daily basis. So they really can't afford to spend a large amount of time to sit down with you to go through really what do you want. And if that's the case and you just trusted your kitchen suppliers to do all the design work for you, I'm just gonna tell you it's not gonna work, because they are not the one who is gonna use this kitchen on a daily basis in the future after the kitchen is installed. It's better to have the pain now to go through what you want and what you don't want by yourself, and to really think hard about your preference. Then you regret later after you have moved into your new home or after you have remodeled your kitchen. At that time, it will probably cost you a fortune to correct things, and probably you wouldn't be bothered to do so, and you will be living in the kitchen that you don't like, or you have a lot of regrets for probably the next 10 years. You know yourself the best, and you know your family the best as well. For example, in our household, we use oven very frequently, probably on a daily basis. So that's why I have installed our oven on the countertop level to make it easier for us to monitor the food. good. But for some household, you don't use the oven that often. It's probably to allow the good positions for some other appliances, for example, a built-in microwave or a built-in coffee machine, whatever you like. The main point here is really to take the time for yourself or for your entire family to go through what your family's daily habits are and how to better implement those habits in your kitchen design. In that way, I believe that you will have a better end result than just offloading all the responsibility to your kitchen suppliers. The last tip I want to say is amend your design as many times as possible before you finalize the kitchen and make the payment, because practice makes perfect. If you don't spend the time now to think again and again, I can guarantee you will have more headache after you move into your new home. All the good designs are results of thinking back and forth again and again. Take my kitchen as an example. The one that you see now is probably the fourth or the fifth draft that we have thought through. This is our first draft of the kitchen. You can see how far we have come through. Some obvious mistakes of this design is the fridge. If I really install the fridge there, it will create a lot of issue when we go in passing that aisle, because when the fridge door opens, you can just imagine it will just block up the entire aisle. And I have to tell you that this design comes from a kitchen designer who is supposed to be very good at planning. However, like I said, they are not you. They are not the one who will be using this kitchen. It is only you who will be responsible for your own purchase. So take the time, sit down with your family and chat through all the preferences that you would like to implement in your new kitchen. I believe through this way you can find the optimal solution for your dream kitchen. Okay, that's all for today's video. I hope you like my video, and if you do find it helpful, please don't forget to give me a thumb up and consider subscribe to my channel and turn on that notification bell to stay connected. Okay, I upload video every Friday at 7 p.m. so I'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.